Hey guys, coming up on Rivertalk today, big stuff if you love to eat, and we all do. It's not just that we eat for nourishment. Some of us actually eat for pleasure, and there are a lot of choices out there, and an interesting segment coming up on today's Rivertalk. Stay right there.
There's a commotion in Conway.
The hamburgers are delicious.
I like the ice cream.
The fried corn on the cob.
The Philly cheesesteak.
The prime rib.
This wet burrito is incredible.
Best burgers in the world.
Burger Brothers, it's fresh.
Hey, welcome to the Coastal Ale House. Always a great place for good conversation and always a great place to get a bite to eat. Hey, Donald Smith.
Hey, Jack Murphy.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good seeing you.
You stepped out from behind the curtain.
I did.
He's the wizard. If this were Oz, he'd be the wizard. Yeah. Operating everything. Yeah. But there's got to be a good reason why you're over here on this side of the table.
I'm the wizard. Can't get back home. Got a beautiful girl. I can't get her on the bus with me or the plane. That's me.
It's terrible, isn't it? Unbelievable. There's got to be a reason why. Are we going to talk food?
Let's
Burger
talk
Brothers?
Food.
Is that part of the deal?
That's part of the deal.
It's strange because you were talking about this place. I've never heard you talk about a burger like this before. I had an opportunity a few weeks ago to go sample this burger. You're right. And then I found out how it was made. I'm not going to disclose that on the show. I don't know if I should or not. But it just makes sense. Best burger I've ever had.
It's really
Well, I told him it may not be the best burger I've ever had, but it's the best burger I've had this year. That's what I told him. I gave him a little review on Facebook.
I think it's the best one I've ever had, I'll be honest with you. And that's really started and the reason why I'm here today, and our next guest is going to be on Becky Billingsley. Mm-hmm. She's going to be on every other week. But it started with a hamburger. And I'll tell you the story, how that all came about. My wife has a dress shop downtown Conway, Park Smith. And I had
you can lay away now for Christmas, by the way.
Yes, you can. And I had a break, and so I called her and asked her if she wanted to have lunch. Me to go pick us up some lunch and take it to her, and she said, yeah. And she said, what are you thinking about? I said, well, I'm in the mood for a burger. And she said, well, go to Oliver's. We don't want one of those burgers that you, McDonald's and Burger King. And I said, okay. And then I remembered on 4th Avenue, right across from the old post office, I don't know if people would remember that, or ones that were in Conway on 4th Avenue.
Sure.
I remember I'd seen a sign. It had been a restaurant, a couple different restaurants a few years ago, and it seemed like none had ever made it. But I saw a sign, and it was a yellow sign, green writing, said, take the burger challenge. Never thought about it again until that day, and I said, well, I'll just go by and, see what they got to offer, because, it sounded to me like they were challenging all of Conway. They had the best burger. Mm-hmm. So I go in, meet the wife's owner, and she suggested a little brother, and that's what I would suggest. But
that's what I had.
Yeah, and so I ordered 2 burgers, fries, drank, took them to my wife's shop. And it never fails. Once you walk in there with food, she gets busy, so she couldn't eat. Well, I waited a little while, and I had to leave, so I went ahead and ate mine. And Jack, I'm telling you, and I will tell my audience, I promise you, this was the best burger I ever ate. Well, she was busy with customers, so I couldn't talk to her or what. Well, I leave, and a couple hours later, I get a phone call from her. And the first thing she said, where did that burger come from? That's the best hamburger I'd ever eaten. And I knew right there this place had a winner. All they needed was the word to get out. So like you and the staff and everybody I could tell, I said, you got to go try this hamburger. It is unbelievable. It's the best burger I ever had. Well, then we ate there a few times. Well, then I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I knew I'd get a true test from her. I took her. She said the same thing. Well, she loved it so good, she wanted to try everything else. And then the chicken's unbelievable. I'm not a liver person, but I hear their liver and onions are unbelievable. Sweet potato fries.
I don't need a lot.
It's just really remarkable to me that restaurant was there and nobody knew about it. And so the owner and I, Dan, we started talking, and he asked about sponsoring Rivertalk, and I told him, yeah, we'll do something. Well, in the meantime, he had another idea. He had Becky Billingsley, local food critic, MyrtleBeachRestaurants.com, and then she has the top 100 restaurants. She went in there. Somebody had told her about it, and she goes in there, and she did a review about it. And I think she had the liver and onions and the sweet potato fries. And it was, and the review was just unbelievable, just how good a restaurant it was. And so he said to me, he said, Donald, he said, what if, instead of me just running commercials, what if I sponsor a segment where she could come on and talk about different restaurants, not just mine, but talk about different restaurants.
Sure.
So we talked a few weeks, and that's what we decided to do, and which is, I think, very admirable that another restaurant wants to help other restaurants.
For sure.
And so that's what we're starting today, and then every other Friday, set people up for the weekend. Becky's going to come in and tell about some restaurants, good, bad, or whatever. The content's totally hers. She'll talk, what restaurants she wants to talk about, whether they are good or bad. That's left up to the restaurant or whatever. But one thing that I'm excited about is she's a true restaurant critic. She knows food. Mm-hmm. She doesn't beat around the bush. I don't know if I've ever read anything that she slams somebody, but if it's not up to par, she doesn't mind telling you, because that's to gain credibility in that field. You have to be honest.
Sure.
So we're excited that she's going to be part of the team every other Friday. Encourage the watchers and listeners to tune in every day, but every other Friday she'll have a list of good and bad restaurants. Today, I think y'all are going to talk about breakfasts and stuff. But it all started from a hamburger, the little brother from Burger Brothers. And the burger challenge is like a 1-pound burger. It's a huge thing. And if you eat the whole thing, they give it to you. But it's you just need to go by there and meet the owner and his wife. They're great people. But I promise you, if you go and you order the burger, you're going to
be blown away. You are. And I had to ask him, because I had a little bit of an idea. I said, what is this about? This is good.
Yeah.
This isn't what I normally get around here. And he told me. I'm not going to tell you. But he told me.
And he goes in, and I don't want to divulge anything. I don't think he would mind me saying this. I mean, he just doesn't buy a patty. It's just not, that special sauce he puts on or whatever. I mean, he grinds his own
meat fresh.
Yeah. And there's a difference. Okay, there's a difference. And the way he cooks it, too. But, I mean, there's a difference. It's not no big, gigantic bun or anything like that. I mean, he likes the idea, the bun's not the star of his show. I mean, it's the burger.
It's the burger, that's right. Good stuff. Well, man, I appreciate you telling me about it, because I walked in there just incognito, and then they come over, they recognize me from the show, and it's like going, hey, we're going to be part of it, because you didn't tell me. But I played dumb, and I went along. It was just like I was having dinner at home.
Yeah, I said, Barb says you do that well.
Except the food was better, a lot better. Work on it, still love you. Come on. But good, man, good stuff. I'm glad you're doing it, because it'll be kind of neat.
We're excited.
Becky's see her on Facebook, read her stuff every once in a while.
Yeah, she's really good. The magazine's unbelievable. I'd suggest pick up one of those. She'll be on. She'll tell people how to get in touch with her through the website and stuff.
All right, that's coming up. All right, get on back over there and do what you do.
We'll try.
He tries to shake me up. It doesn't work. We'll be back with more in a bit.
There's a commotion in Conway.
He uses fresh seasonings that's made from scratch. That's really good, that you just don't find everywhere.
The kids like the food, the parents like the prices. My dad told me that.
Oh, okay.
Burger Brothers, it's fresh.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Coastal Ale House. Always one of those great places to get a bite to eat. We got to get you on the spot. We got to get you in here to do what you do. Becky Billingsley joins us. We've heard all the hype. I want to see if there's any meat in this sandwich.
Well, I just know a lot about restaurants because I put my butt in the car and I drive around and I visit them.
How cool is that? I mean, I thought I had a pretty sweet gig, but yours is pretty cool.
Well, now
you get to eat.
That's what people say, but then I take them with me and they're like, oh. I can't keep up.
Oh, so. Professional eating. Well, the first meal of the day is breakfast, and we'll talk about some of the great breakfast places out there, and we'll cover lunch and dinner as well. But your name has been synonymous with food columns in this area for a while.
About 15 years now. I was a features reporter at the Sun News, which evolved into the Food and Restaurant Reporter, which evolved into the editor of Coastal Carolina Dining Magazine.
I remember that magazine.
Which evolved into my own magazine and doing daily news on MyrtleBeachRestaurantNews.com.
Okay. So you kind of had a little entrepreneurial spark that took hold, which in your industry was a good thing.
Entrepreneurial, but not wanting other people to tell me what to do. So I like being my own boss.
Let's see, how many people are in this magazine? Because, you know, all those customers are still kind of your boss, so you got more bosses, but that's good, and you need more.
But you know what? They're almost none of them are advertisers, so they're not my bosses.
That's pretty cool. We'll talk about this great publication. If I wanted to pick up this magazine, where can I get it?
All of the top 100 restaurants have it.
Okay.
And it's also for sale on the website for $2.
And the website again?
MyrtleBeachRestaurantNews.com.
All right, good stuff. We'll talk more about the intricacies of that. You can get an email update, I think, on the website.
Yeah, you can sign up for a free newsletter on Fridays. And
speaking of Fridays, we're going to have you on the show every other Friday.
Excellent.
Because Friday's the day where you might start planning, you know, a night out.
Right. I always do a weekend roundup of things coming up that people can plan for, and some deals. You know, a lot of restaurants have special deals on the weekends and special entertainment, so we try to cover that.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
I hope that's making a comeback.
It is. One of my advertising partners at listenupmb.com, he has all the music, live entertainment rundowns.
Okay. I'm familiar with those guys. Yeah.
Chris Mauder.
Right.
He used to work at the Sun News, too.
All you Sun News guys out there on your own now. Well, breakfast.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I mean, where's a good place to get a bite to eat?
Well, one of the ones I wanted to be sure and mention was Burger Brothers.
Awesome.
Right here in Conway. And they just added breakfast to their lineup. I went by there the other day, and he had Eggs Benedict Chesapeake style. Which Chesapeake, that makes me think crab, and I was right. So it's just like your regular Eggs Benedict, only with this creamy crab sauce in there, too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good. And he's got egg plates, and he's doing big giant cinnamon rolls that are toasted.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I want to try that.
Rolls. Awesome.
And then he had this thing called the Alamo hash. That's next on my list.
Yeah, he mentioned that when I saw him the other day.
Hash browns, ham, onions, bell peppers, sausage gravy, and cheddar jack cheese, and 2 eggs in a bowl.
Huh.
That sounds good.
Wow.
Sounds like comfort food.
So once you go there and eat, you'll always remember the Alamo.
There you go.
Guess that's it.
Then a couple weeks ago, I went to Gulfstream Cafe for their brunch.
Okay.
Now, if you've never been to Gulfstream Cafe, it's at the very end of Garden City. So it's got this gorgeous view of the inlet. And you can eat inside or outside. They've got a make-your-own Bloody Mary bar that's absolutely beautiful. And they've got a buffet that has all kinds of food, but then they also have a menu with kind of more elegant breakfast options like steak and eggs and crab cake Benedict. And
how about that? Yeah.
So, good stuff going on there.
Damon's.
Well, I wanted to mention, Damon's used to have breakfast, and they just quit.
Okay.
I liked that. It wasn't a super fancy buffet, but it was very dependable and nice, and you could get a mimosa and Bloody Mary and sit there and look at the ocean.
Yeah.
But they just stopped.
Okay.
So, I wanted to be sure and mention that. Now, 2nd Avenue Pier. Have you been to 2nd Avenue Pier yet and the new restaurant?
Yes, I have.
I
It's
love
beautiful.
that place.
Yeah. I grabbed lunch after one Sunday.
One of my favorite architects, Mazingo and Wallace, designed it.
Right.
It's just gorgeous. And they have these great breakfasts that incorporate our regional cuisine.
Oh, I didn't know
like
that.
Sockasty shrimp and grits.
Okay.
That's a good choice. And Tabor City toast with bananas and peanut butter. You know, Elvis would love that.
Oh, yeah.
And omelets, egg plates, boardwalk biscuits and gravy, because they're at the very south end of the new Myrtle Beach
just
boardwalk.
meander all
I guess
the way
it's
up.
not new anymore, but it's a pretty boardwalk.
That's awesome, yeah.
Finn McCool's up
Okay.
on Lake Arrowhead Road just started breakfast service.
Okay.
And so they have a full bar too. So if you don't have to go to work after breakfast, you can have a drink. And they also have a cornhole place outside.
Right, yeah.
So you can have your exercise after breakfast.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's a good thing. We're going to come up against the clock. I got about maybe 40 seconds. Okie Dokie Diner.
Okie Dokie Diner is at the back gate off 707.
Okay.
There's rainbow trout and grits. Doesn't get any better than that for breakfast.
Okay, that sounds like something
and
I'd
it's
get in
only,
the mountains of
only
North
like
Carolina.
$7 or $8.
Yeah.
So that's a good deal. Let's see
And
here.
Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice, that is a cool one because it's the DeBrule family that is running it, and they've had that spot since the 1960s.
Okay.
And they leased it out for several years, but now the DeBrule family has it again, and they've got free Wi-Fi, really great coffee, bagels, and then sandwiches for later in the day, and Hershey's ice cream. So, Crystal Light Cafe in Surfside closed.
Right.
And so now those customers are heading to Fire and Ice to do their Wi-Fi and bagel thing.
Okay, sweet. Well, we're going to take that breather. We'll get into like maybe some lunch offerings, dinner as well. Becky Billingsley's our guest here on River Talk. You come back. Are you hungry yet? You will be in just a bit. Stay tuned.